Which
All
one
right,
is
so
it?
tonight we had a
purple one.
pumpkin ale taste-off, including 2 ales that were not pumpkin ale, including the Midas Touch and the Full Bore. But all of the other ones were pumpkin ales. And this was a blind taste test. I had no idea what I was tasting as I was tasting it, and the results were really surprising. I thought I loved, for instance, the Dogfish Head. Turns out I liked it the least of any of these when I couldn't see what the brand was. Just goes to show you what brand influences. So my very favorite was the Red Hook Out of Your Gourd Pumpkin Porter. This is really yummy. It was thick, it was sweet, it was smoky. I got notes of molasses in there. If you like thick, sweet, smoky beers, this is going to be your thing. The Out of Your Gourd Pumpkin Porter. Second favorite here was the Shipyard. I had this down as dessert _. Very, very, very cinnamony. Everyone who tasted this was like, wow, cinnamon. There's kind of like a mild Scotch finish. I like this quite a bit. Number 3 was the Midas Touch. This has been one of my perennial favorites. It's a pretty strong beer. It's 9%, while the Shipyard was also 9%. These are really strong beers. So it's lightly sweet, kind of a honeyed finish, very nice. I guess it's not very not very surprising that I noted a honey finish, given that it's brewed with barley and honey and grapes and saffron. Next up was the Blue Moon Harvest Pumpkin. This guy had kind of nutmeg overtones, sort of a buttery finish. It's a little bit on the weak side, but I liked it all right. And fifth up was the Pumpkin by Uinta Brewing Company. It's kind of slightly bitter, a little bit hoppy. I'm not really super into hoppy beers. A little bit on the watery side. Kind of had an alcoholic bite. I was not a fan of this beer. Did not love it. And this one really surprised me. I thought I loved Full Bore Scotch Ale. It might have just been that this beer got totally blown out from all of the sweet other beers I was comparing it with, but I normally love Full Bore Scotch Ale, so it was very surprising to me that this came in 6 of 7. So coffee notes, kind of barley tea in there, tasted a little bit burnt. Yeah, so a little bit surprising. I give it a B-. And the only C, and this was again a huge surprise, I thought I liked this beer a lot. It's the Dogfish Head Pumpkin Ale. I thought this had kind of a little bit of a note of Scotch in there, some mild hoppiness, but I thought it had a very medicinal finish. And I actually went back after this tasting because I was so surprised by it that the pumpkin ale could come out so poorly. I did an extra taste, and sure enough, I don't think I liked it. So this was really informative because here you have a bunch of beers, some of which I've never tried, and some of which I thought I loved, and then you find out that some of these beers are actually not as good as you remembered them, and some of these beers are really freaking awesome. So short here is that the Out of Your Gourd Pumpkin Porter, really good. My favorite fall beer.